everyone. Thanks for joining the Freedom Path Investors podcast. We are here today. I've been looking forward to this one for a while. I've been trying to get this together, man, with Mr. Brysan Duvall.
Yeah.
So what's going on, man?
What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. We have been working on this probably a couple months in the making, going back and forth, not being able to schedule it due to our own responsibilities, but grateful to be out here, man.
All right, now we're here, man. Rolling. We're here.
Happy to have you.
Absolutely, man. Happy to be here.
So, hey, this real estate investing podcast, we talk about everything real estate investing, and we tend to go down rabbit holes every now and then and talk about life and whatnot. So we always just kind of keep it off the cuff and see how it goes. I hope you don't mind being a little bit real and raw. That's how we kind of like to keep it. So.
I love it, man. I'm uncensored usually.
We're no fluff. No fluff here, man. So.
Yeah, man.
All right, man. Well, here we go, man. What got you into real estate, Brysan?
Really, I never really, I guess, saw myself necessarily being in this lane. I mean, I knew at some point I would, invest in buildings. I didn't know how active or passive that would be. My father owns apartment buildings, so, I knew that I was interested in somehow doing that, but not really being a full-time investor wasn't on my radar until, maybe about 3 years ago.
Okay.
So I actually got introduced to wholesaling from David Dodge.
Yep.
So yeah, I saw what he was doing. I had a personal relationship with him, and he was talking about like flipping contracts, some type of stuff on Facebook. And I'm like, I have no idea what this guy is talking about. And it was just like a time where it wasn't as trendy. You know what I mean? It wasn't like you can just get on YouTube and like say, hey, make money in real estate with no money or whatever. So I'm like, what are you doing, man? And he's like, told me about it. He kind of coached me up on there. And I'm like, well, I'm not really doing much with my life right now. I was in school. Came out of like the roughest time of my life, just recently got, clean and sober. So, finishing a degree, and I'm like, I hate school, literally. Like I'm not interested in anything, so yeah, I was like, well, I do kind of know how to hustle. I do like sales. So, started working some of his leads, kind of working in a JV capacity for free with them at Household Easy. Him and Mike, I always give credit where credit's due. They definitely ignited a flame and really spent a lot of time, walking me through deals to the closing table and, joint venturing on some stuff. So that's kind of how it started. And
so were you kind of going through their coaching program, or did you just jump into it and start seeking out deals?
Yeah, I just jumped in. Like they were kind of going in that lane at that time. They had their free course at that time, and David's like, dude, just watch the course over and over, like learn exactly, at least like what we're doing. And if you like want to like start after that. So I watched the free wholesale course, and then, they kind of, develop that out into the lane that they're in to a full, education platform and podcast.
That was back in 2017 or 2018?
2017, I want to say.
So I don't know if David will remember me, but I was a property manager, and I actually managed a couple properties for, what's that guy's name? I always bring him up. The ClickFunnels guy. Managed a couple
Russell Brunson?
Russell Brunson,
okay.
Exactly. Yeah. And so David went out there and walked a few of Russell's properties. I let him in and stuff like that. And I was like, asking him a little bit about wholesaling, and he said something about having a free course. Like, yeah, man, you should check it out. I didn't do anything. I probably should have, but I'm here now, so I guess life is good. But yeah, he's a super good dude, super helpful. And I know I met Mike Slane a couple times in the same way, for sure.
Definitely solid guys. And I actually, my office in the same suite as theirs in Brentwood.
Okay.
And it just so happened like that, I wasn't one of those people that, you hear about like these guys that like, go to an event and then they're like, boom, close my first deal. I'm going full time in wholesale. And I'm like, I wasn't like that. I made a little bit of money, but it's like, either I was just like still like severely depressed with my life that like I didn't really have like confidence in like being like, no, I can do this. I'm going to make this work. I'm sold. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Kind of hard. I don't know how sustainable this is, but I'm just going to work it because I don't have anything better else to do.
How long did it take you to get your first deal, man?
I want to say after I did that course, I did some banded signs, and actually the first deal was I didn't walk it through to closing, but it was my first transaction that I was a part of or got paid on. I would just be I was working at my dad's house my dad's foundation, and I was just scouring, like Facebook and Craigslist and all types of stuff, like trying to source deals and looking for people. And I called this guy and got like a price set an appointment. Dave's like, yeah, got the property under contract like that day, or literally like within hours. And I was like, okay, I'm like, I guess this is kind of simple, and he sold it like in a couple weeks. And he's like, yeah, bro, what's your address? I got a check for you, came and like paid me like $1,000 or something. It's like a cheap property in Jennings.
Would you say the house sold easy?
Yeah, the house was sold easy. Delivered as promised, man. So that was the first check, and then the next one was same thing, Craigslist property in Florissant. I think he ended up keeping that one. So after they figured out what they could refi for and stuff, I got paid $2,500 on that. Yeah. So I was just like, well, and this was like even before I was even making calls, really. Then I'm like, okay, so now maybe I need to like get in the game a little bit. Concept, yeah, and I'm like, I have no idea what those transactions looked like, but it gauged my interest where I was like, all right, cool. And then he was like, well, bro, like you can work some of our leads. I'm not going to pay you, come in and I get it. I'm like, I had no skill set whatsoever. Yeah. He's like, bro, I'll teach you how to call Craigslist. I'll teach you how to call Zillow. I'll teach you how to do all that. So coached me up on that. And I just started calling, started putting out banded signs. And I think the next one came from a banded sign that I put out. And this time, bro, I didn't even have a driver's license. Like my license was revoked. I paid my mom like $30. I'd be like, convince her to like take me out to do banded signs on a Friday at like 2 a.m. Oh, wow. And my mom's like, my mom's a rider, bro. Like,
sounds like you had a lot of support, man.
Yeah. Oh my God, man. I legit, I'm not gonna say I owe everything to my family, but I just wouldn't be nearly doing what I would do if I didn't have the support from my family just through the roughest times of my life, getting in trouble, dealing with my active addiction, supporting me for getting clean and into recovery and all that. It's like amazing, man. It really is.
Do you think like having this goal of being in real estate was something that helped you, move past that and like just having a goal to work towards?
Yeah. So I think it ignited like the want for more personal development, because it's like coming out of that, and it's like, I mean, me, I started like, drinking, doing dumb stuff when I was like in like 14, you know what I mean? So like half of my life pretty much up until that point. So it's like, I had to do some soul searching. I was kind of like an identity thing. Like, I don't even know what do I do? What do I even like to do? Yeah. I just felt so like gray all the time. Like I wasn't severely depressed, but I wasn't happy, and I had no like purpose. Yeah. So as I started to build out in real estate, that really like got me like that fire again. Like I want to do something. I want to set goals, read books, and do things like that. I just wasn't like.
Well, there's such like an upside to where you were at.
Absolutely.
It's just like, holy cow, I can go there.
Right. And then I started to like network, and I think we're extremely blessed and fortunate for the investor community that we have in St. Louis. Yeah. Like, it's not like that in other markets all the time. I should say. From what I've heard, and it could be, I know in San Antonio, I know a great group of people down there that they always collaborate, add value to each other. But also St. Louis, just like a small town vibe, which kind of.
It's a big, small town. I've
absolutely.
Heard people say,
yeah. Well, there's enough competition to make it challenging.
Yeah.
But it's not so much where it's cutthroat.
Exactly.
I think that's
a great way to put it.
Like our local mastermind we're in, like everybody in there is our competition, but we we all do deals together and help each other out.
Absolutely.
And share our wins and celebrate them and stuff like that. So it's really positive stuff.
Yeah, man. So, but that's that to answer your question, Brian, that real estate was an ignition type of thing to my life, really.
Yeah.
As far as purpose, alignment, and direction.
I mean, I went through a very similar thing. It was this inflection point in my life where I felt lost, didn't know what to do, and who am I? And like, um, I don't want to say real estate saved me, but
Right.
like it gave me that fire again because I was on this new path that was exciting and like there was so much potential.
And we meet weekly. We divide all the campaigners amongst teams, and I'm the team leader of the Chain Breakers.
Okay.
And Kelsey is a St. Louis guy. He's on my team as well.
Okay.
And yeah, we have weekly accountability, weekly team meetings, set IPA goals for our businesses, or if you're the solopreneur for you every week, and just try to add as much value and provide an environment that's conducive for success and positive for people, mostly aimed at the beginner wholesaler.
Okay.
And we had a mission of helping and supporting 10 people in the campaign to make their first six figures last year.
That's
I
awesome.
think we were at 13. We ended up with 13 or 14, I think, by the end of the year.
That's really cool.
So
dude.
yeah,
I can tell you you really have a strong hold of that. That's really cool, man.
Yeah, it's bro, honestly, it's been such a growth opportunity for me. Like I joined it because like selfish reasons. I'm like, I'm at a job and like I don't want to be here. I was in project management. And I'm like, I wouldn't say hated it every day, but severely disliked it. Since the day I started there. And
So was it for a construction company or
commercial
real estate?
It was more so a distributor. So
Okay.
for commercial materials,
Okay.
for basically like Perrick were our
Yeah.
clients,
Okay.
and like a McCarthy or something like that,
Yep.
big commercial GCs.
Okay.
So yeah, we just really this procurement.
You
and-
said
and
I
the
can't
most-
do this
dude,
forever,
it's
man.
like,
I
dude,
got.
I mean, they weren't paying me enough to
Yeah.
call me a project manager. That's for
Okay.
sure. And this kind of came about, and I would hear about it, and I'm like, dude, that's the thing I need is accountability.
That's
I
awesome,
need to tap into some network and environment, and that's what it did. And
Yeah.
I quickly got in there and got to six figures within my first 6 months in the campaign.
Nice.
Wow.
And then we needed leadership, and I was like, bro, like my self-image then, like this wasn't even like it's like barely a year ago, like compared to what it was now. I'm like a team leader. I'm like, what? I have to like
How'd that
lead
happen?
people, influence them, and I kind of took it on, with a lot of hesitation, but it's led to a tremendous amount of personal growth.
I can tell you're really passionate about it. So that's cool. You
Absolutely.
found that.
Yeah, it's like
So-
a family, man.
Were you working while you started wholesaling? Or did you
Yeah, I was working that whole time
Okay.
throughout all
Yeah,
those
okay.
deals, and then I left my full time job last year, May 1st, actually.
Oh,
So
wow.
coming up,
Okay.
coming up on a year full time.
So you were doing it part time for what? Three
a couple years, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Man,
and I was just inconsistent.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't have like a clear path.
Well,
I
you're
guess.
working on the nights and the weekends, and it's
Yeah.
more of like a hobby then.
Right.
you
And
know?
I had no concept of like data management or like real marketing. I'm like, I don't know, just call these people.
So were
know?
you looking at that as like a side hustle for supplemental income, or were you like, I'm gonna work my way out of this job eventually and do this full time?
Yeah, so I graduated college and started working there, but I didn't want to. So right when I got into that job, I was like, yeah, I got to make real estate work.
Nice.
Like I was teetering like, should I just go full time in real estate or take this full time job when I graduated?
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like it was like the safest play that I've ever made in my life, and I regretted it. Because I was like, I didn't like my parents didn't pressure me into making any other decision. I mean, obviously they're like, yeah, it would be secure if you got a job, right out of college, you have some job history, but they weren't like, there's no way you're going and, doing real estate and trying to just take some risks like that. But they definitely sided with, like most people that love us, side with safety. It's usually.
Did your parents have any entrepreneurial experience at all there?
My father's a dentist,
Okay.
So he's a solopreneur,
Yeah.
I guess is the best way. He's self-employed and, not in the same sense as I guess we do, but definitely a ownership mindset.
Well, I'm just curious because, you see so many parents that just want their kids to go to school and get a job and,
and they do. They're traditional.
Safe. Yeah.
They're definitely traditional and they believe in education, getting solid jobs, providing like that. And me, I just have never, I've always been kind of just the unconventional one in my family, and that's why I did a bunch of dumb stuff and, always challenge the status quo.
Some of the most successful people.
I love that spirit, man. I consider myself a rebel.
Yeah,
in my youth too. And
yeah, man.
I never wanted to listen to anybody.
I'll never forget. I think I was working at the hardware store, and I know you guys can appreciate this. It's definitely uncensored, but you guys invited me on here, so that's what I'm going to do. And no curse words, but. I was working a job, I think my freshman year. And, at that time, I'm young in high school, smoking pot, doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I realized that there was a decent opportunity to make money in that. So, I went down that path and like, I don't know, it just ignited something where I was like, so I just think I've had that bug of some form of entrepreneurship, whether productive or not.
Yeah.
And I just never, as early as those days, I never considered like, I couldn't have a vision of me like working a 9 to 5, it just didn't see any job. Like only job I liked was Forest Park Golf Course. And I was like, I golfed before and rode around a golf cart, like, it's not terrible.
How could you not like that job?
But other than that, I'm like, dude, I can't, it's hard for me to attach to it, and feel passionate about it. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just like, it seems like I'm just like over here and everybody else is like working and they're trying to do their best. And I'm just like, what is going on? You know what I mean? Like, what? Okay, I guess I'll do my job while I'm here. I'm like, I don't know. It's just, it's one of those things.
So many of our real estate investing friends now, I'm like, I could never see this person in the corporate space again. Like, there's so many of us that are like unemployable now.
Oh, we're tainted. There's no doubt about it. Like,
I hope I never have to go back and beg for a job from an employer, but like, it would be soul crushing for me.
Yeah, man. I was talking to a guy, and that's what's just so amazing about wholesaling and just the avenues that it opens up, like a realm of possibility. Meeting people like you, meeting people that are developing, stuff. You're like, wow, I met this guy off a cold call. He happens to be like own this huge construction company, or he's actually a developer. He's also, a commercial landlord and owns building. You know what I mean? It's so. As I've been in this, it's just elevated my vision of like, wait, some of this stuff is like accessible. It was like you thought, like I used to always think like to be a real estate developer, you need like a master's degree or like have like some like law knowledge or do everything. And it's like, like you get quicker access to people that are like doers.
Yeah. I think you open up your mind to the power of what leverage is. And it's like a platitude. Everyone talks about it, but really it's super powerful. Like if you don't know how to do a specific thing, that's okay. Someone else does. And it's either a company that does or an individual you can bring on that does. You can either hire them part-time or whatever, or full-time and get the job done for you. So like, we're about to possibly do our first teardown rebuild.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? And that was something like just
it wasn't even in the vision.
No,
absolutely.
But called the bank. Hey, we have this deal. This is the situation. He's like, okay, yeah, well, we can do that for you guys.
Like, all right,
yeah,
fair enough.
Exactly.
You guys will finance this construction. Well,
yeah.
It's amazing, man. I really feel like not just to the gateway to build wealth, but also just a different gateway for opportunity is what I look at wholesaling as.
Absolutely.
So your wholesaling business today, what does it look like? You started doing it part-time for a while, not too long ago. So what's your setup look like now? I mean, what kind of, well, first of all, like I look at it like 3 different arms. You got lead gen, acquisitions, dispositions. So what's just start with lead gen. What's that look like in your business?
Right now we're just doing calling and texting.
Yeah.
Just strictly outbound. Next quarter I will implement an inbound channel. So I'm not sure exactly what that looks like right now, but we're heavy on the outbound right now.
Outbound prospecting.
Yeah, we are. I'm probably going to double down on cold calling here starting next week. And got just handled by VAs right now. So I'm going to move one of the prospectors into the lead management seat. Okay. That's what she's training in now. Lauren, she's awesome on the phones and super detail oriented. So really going to toss off a lot of the lead management onto her so that I can just focus on what I like to do. And that's acquisition. So.
Well, yeah, we're going to have to talk to you more about that offline. That's cold calling was something we kind of gave up on. We just never had much success with it, So.
Yeah. I guess there's 2 ways to look at it. Like you can look at it like, what are the quality of the calls? Like, cause that's the thing. It's like you listen to a call. It's like, it's never going to sound like what you want it to sound like.
Right.
Like I had to almost like abandon that. Like, I'm like, I look at like how I cold call and I'm like, this is trash. You know what I mean? Like
you should have gone left. You went right.
This is terrible, but at the end of the day, I think it's a volume play. Because it's like you look at it like this. It's like, say somebody doesn't respond. Maybe that call was just terrible. They're like, yo, this person is clearly from a different country and they're calling me on my phone and it's a cold call, and they don't respond back to it. Well, it's like, great, maybe they're not interested, but that'll still be on another text campaign.
Yeah. How are you doing? How are you faring with referral business right now?
I get a decent amount of, and not like with very little online branding or presence. Yeah. Like not from like somebody sees my website or somebody sees anything like that. Like I don't do like super well about it, but I probably get maybe like 2 sometimes warmish referrals. Yeah. Somebody knows like, hey, they're trying to sell their house, maybe like 2 a month.
And they can be some of your best deals.
True. They really one of them was, and the other ones were just kind of like, they were just, people that wanted to sell a house. A couple of them turned into listings for agents that, I work with. So it still provides value. And at least it's,
you're helping people, you're broadening,
absolutely.
And you never know what kind of connections you might get from that. So it's definitely, referral business is everything. I think it's carried us a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I need to get better. Honestly, I need to get better at it. When you ask that, I'm like, dude, I got to figure out how to like really get that testimonials, different things that you can do or leverage your online platform as well.
I think just longevity in the business, man. Mm-hmm. Like that's one of the biggest things. Like more people get to know you and know what you do, and they know that you're for real because you've been doing it for a while.
Right.
And it's just like they feel comfortable referring out, if it's an agent, a client, or a family member, a friend, I mean? Like they feel comfortable with you and stuff and so forth. So it's huge.
I agree. I need to get better at that, man. I need to get better at
well, we're not here to lecture you.
No. I'm just thinking out loud. I'm like, I need to get better with just online presence in general. Content, people, because there's still people that are like, dude, we don't know what Brysan does, kind of like, I guess he's in real estate, like what does this guy do? He says he's buying houses and things like that. But
I think my whole entire family except for one person understand, like they don't understand what I do at all. They're like, oh, I'm super happy for you, Jay.
But, I just know you're doing something in real estate.
Yeah, exactly. They don't really know.
It's really important to make sure everybody they all know what you're doing.
Right. Exactly what I do. Like that's a big thing where there's clarity in it. I think that's what builds the credibility is because it's like they kind of refer and they don't really know what's going on. It's like,
I know some OGs in the market that have like, they don't even really market anymore because they've just been doing it so long and people just bring them deals and put them in their lap.
Right.
That's longevity. But credibility, like you just said, kind of is a good segue into acquisition. So you go to an appointment. What does it look like? What kind of framework or how do you set the tone for an appointment before you get out there?
So I'm, like I said, I mentioned before that I'm a little virtual and in person. So if it can be locked up on the phone, if I know this person's motivated, and like you say, sometimes you only know deeper motivation when you see them.
Mm-hmm.
depending on the personality type.
Well, so many people will just put up a front over the phone,
Absolutely.
and then you get there and they break down and tell their life story. And
Absolutely.
that's what we were talking about before we jumped on here. Is like, I don't think there's any way virtual wholesaling can compete with being in the living room with the homeowner. I mean, there's so much more you find out about the deal. And I mean, there's been times where, okay, they got a price over the phone, and then we show up and the price has come down 20, 30 grand. You know?
Yeah. It's a little bit different when you look up and you're like, yeah, we didn't talk about the hole in the ceiling when we were on the phone, you know?
No.
But I see both sides. You know, I don't necessarily disagree with you, but it really just depends on there's factors at play, like, you know, how good the salesperson is on the phone.
Absolutely.
You know, how you know, good you know, how good is their communication at really digging for pain over the phone?
Yeah.
You know, which isn't always the easiest, versus, you know, some people just deliver better in person. So I think we both know it both ways work.
Yeah.
You know, we know people that get crazy spreads just solely virtual, and we know people that do all of their appointments in person. But to answer your question, Jake, I think before I go to an appointment, I just am absolutely clear on expectations. You know, unless it's like one of those things where I'm like, yeah, it's in a really good area and I'm like gonna be in that area. Well, I'll meet you there. You know, kind of like the Limp property. That's how that happened. That you guys got to me got to it first.
I didn't know we had competition on it, man.
No, it's amazing. That's funny. That's an interesting guy for sure. Interesting seller.
Heath, what's up, buddy? Hey, I got a shout out finally. Brian's a beast. All right, man. Thanks.
He sure is.
He wants us to give a shout out to Heath Roofing. Hey, Heath, we're looking for sponsors on the podcast, man. Come talk to me, man.
come pop up, man. We got you. I like that.
Right,
shout out to Heath Roofing.
Back it up a minute. How many VAs did you say you have?
I have 2 full-time.
Yeah.
I have a part-time admin.
Okay.
And I'm looking to I'll keep my admin part-time for now. They're mostly doing data management, like getting him to do like just build out like weekly reports. So we don't have to do that, or I don't have to have my prospectors like always do that at the end of their shift.
Are they pulling data for you?
Yes.
So what do you do? And this is awesome. No, this is good stuff.
Do you work?
No, I hope you don't.
Living the real estate life, bro.
I hope you don't.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing is, it's like I used to do everything. I mean, I'm still having trouble letting go of the vine, man. It's not easy. Yeah. You know, I think it's always like, you know, the thought of like, no one's going to do it like how I want to do it. Nobody's going to do it as good as I want to do it.
You think you're going to look like Tarzan, but really you look like George of the Jungle. Right. Let go of the vine.
You mean it doesn't work like all the gurus say? Just start a business and hire everybody to do everything for you?
Bro, it is like, I think the thing is, what I'll say for anybody that's beginning, I would suggest that you start with the end in mind. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, do you want an automated, delegated business where you can operate mostly in your zone of genius? Then it's like, you need to be recording your processes from the jump, day one. What do I do every day? What does that look like? You know, so I started like, oh, wow, now I have like traction in my business. Oh, yeah, I do want to delegate this stuff, you know, and it's like, you know, I'm almost like addicted to hustling instead of like being a CEO.
But if you could flip that to I'm addicted to building out my business.
Exactly.
You know, and hustle on that front, like eventually you'll start starting new businesses.
Absolutely. That's the only way you can start a new business, you know, but it's like hustling on that stuff isn't fun.
Yeah.
You know, that's the problem. Yeah. But it's I started to do all that list pulling, all the data management stuff, and I do a little bit of it as far as building out campaigns and like, you know, setting up marketing, and I want to delegate some of that too. But I mean, as far as pulling lists, cleaning lists, it's like, dude, we have no business spending time doing.
I hear you. Like that's one thing that I own that I need to just give up on.
Yeah, but Brian's good at it though. Like he's like you're dialed in, you're focused. Like
but how much time does it take?
I don't love it, and it's not really the money making activity. I mean, we can easily hire that out. So,
I mean, $4 an hour, somebody could do all that for what? They could manage your data, whatever, fill out, you know, update dispositions or, you know, suppress data as needed.
Like
a
you
weekly
said,
basis.
letting go of the vine is tough, man.
Yeah, 15 hours a
Yeah.
week, maybe. I mean, there's some pretty impressive people on
Yeah, that's
Upwork
true.
that you're like, dude, I thought I knew this stuff. This guy went to school for this,
Right.
and I can pay him
And they can do
$4
it
an hour.
in half the time that I can.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing somebody sweating at a computer, like late night, coffee, smoking cigarettes, like trying to figure something out. And some VA just comes like, done.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, you get stress. You get more time for the kiddos, man. Less. I think at the end of the day, for me, doing all those tasks just clouds my mental clarity. You know,
Yeah.
that mental energy of switching back and forth from tasks.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you hire a salesman in your company, you just want him to show up to sell.
Yeah.
Like you don't want him to have to be like, cool,
Right.
you guys are selling the deals, awesome. I'm locked in.
I like it.
So it sounds like you got a lot of front end and back office support, and so you're doing all the acquisitions and dispositions, selling all the deals too.
All that.
I wanted to ask this question.
Yeah.
Like, what's your philosophy towards dispositions? Like a lot of people, at least when I started a few years ago, you know, it was like build out your buyers list and so forth. And I think that's good. You definitely need to build out your buyers list as just in a sense of like recording who you sell to. But honestly, I think Facebook Marketplace is your buyers list.
Yeah.
You're gonna find, and then just build relationships based on that.
That's worked out good for us for selling
Honestly,
and for
dude, like
finding renters. And
I mean, we just think about how well you can sell a deal in our Facebook investment groups.
Yeah,
It's
gone.
like, I mean, if it's a deal, it just sells.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you have to, obviously, really the only requirement is vetting the buyers.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. You know, because it's like, yeah, we know wholesalers are gonna, drop their email as well, and that's fine. It's like, do you have a buyer? You know what I mean? Or what are we doing here? You know, it's so to answer your question, I think it is. I can't speak for the people who have built out the extensive, 15,000 buyers list and they blast it out like that because I've never tried it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm the person that's like, a lot of my deals go to a lot of the same, not the same people, but it's a short list.
So what we're doing is, as you know, we put properties out there, we get a lot of emails, and our leads manager and us too, to some extent, we have like a dispo spreadsheet with like different regions in the area, and we start recording those, those emails in that area. So like if we want to blast out property, we just email it. There you go. So it hits their inbox, and then they can see it on Facebook, and then we're doing some ninja stuff too. Brian's working on.
That's
I mean, the simplest way, if you're just starting out, I think, is like, we'll just go on the Facebook groups, and if you got a lead in Jennings, type in Jennings buyers, and then you'll see all these other deals that everybody else posted. And,
Absolutely.
That's how you can quickly build a buyers list. But
true, I think that's actually a very organic way to do it. Get them on the phone. I'm always trying to get people on the phone.
Yeah.
Talk to buyers, really see what their vision is, what they're trying to do, how often they're buying, what they last bought.
How about how they're buying?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
How are you buying this, man?
Well, I mean,
show up to closing.
there's a new real estate investor every day. Everybody's trying to get into it, So, I mean, not to like knock on people, but I don't want to waste my time with tire kickers or people that aren't confident to go out and put an offer on the property. Like, our deals go fast. Like I get people, like, I put a deal out and they text me a week or two later, like, yo, you gotta be ready to jump,
Literally.
Or like, hey, can I meet you out there next week? I'm, people are working, doing this part-time. Like, you got to be ready to jump.
Yeah,
on
Brysan, part-time.
It's like you want to deal with the real estate investor, not the person who invests in real estate.
Well put.
Because it's like, everybody, like, there's tons of people that invest in real estate, but they're like, cool, they're a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, but they're not like, I need 5 deals this month.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, if there's a deal that works, and they're going to work with an agent.
Yeah.
Are you taking down properties at all to wholesale or rehab, or just to take them down to control them and then sell them wholesale?
No, man. I've been just wholesaling. I am forming a partnership to buy some multifamilies. But other than that, I'm straight wholesale right now. I need, I look like in like past pipeline, and I'm just like, dude, that I could easily wholesale that property.
Yeah.
Like literally so easy. And during this market that we're in now, I'm like, wow,
there's so much opportunity in this market right now. Like, if you're saying there's not deals out there, then
Yeah,
I feel sorry for you, but
I mean, you have to be quick and you have to be consistently marketing.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's all a time thing. You may call a prospect today, he doesn't answer. We could call him on Monday and he answers.
Yeah, I think so. And also too, like when you're talking to a seller and stuff like that, you're negotiating. You got to keep in mind that this isn't 2019, 18, 17 prices. This is 2020, 21 prices, and you got to shift the goalposts a little bit of what you're going to offer. Like you can't go in there and expect to be like, okay, this is Florissant, 65 grand. You know what I mean? Like, like that's where I need to be. It's like, no, it's like you actually have to look at some of these updated comps.
Yeah.
Go back 6 to 9 months, not a full year, and see what the market's done. Because you're going to be surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, we just did a deal on a house in Hazelwood. And if anybody's watching that's not in the St. Louis area, Hazelwood's about a 100 to 150K ARV, typical for a cookie cutter 3-bedroom ranch, I mean, this house was worth 120, 125 max just a year ago.
Yep.
Right.
And now the comps are 155, 175. I'm like, it blew my mind. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we actually ran this lead like 6 months ago and it never went anywhere. They tried to fix it up. We went back out there just a few weeks ago, and our offer, after we ran the comps, like we came up $8,000 on our offer, and it's like
They're like,
I mean,
yeah, we want to sell it. Yes,
well, good for you for holding out.
Right,
you got more.
yeah.
You rode out the market, but
yeah, it's interesting, man.
I would throw that out there to anybody that's doing this consistently. Like, go back and look at your old leads that you thought were dead. I mean, because you might be able to raise your offer 10, 20 grand. Like,
depending
from
on where
6
it
months
is.
ago. Yeah.
You're so right, man.
But,
so right. Re-engaging leads around this time. So that's also, like you say, some people are more motivated to sell. They just weren't really interested. And then they're like, we probably should sell this vacant house now.
Yeah.
This might be a great time. It's in a decent area. So
Yeah.
I agree 100%, man.
Right. Well, man, let's get into a little lightning round here, man. So
We're back to the lightning round.
Boom.
I never got the memo. All
got
right.
the canned questions here.
Let's get it.
What would you say has been your biggest success so far, Bryson?
Biggest success. Wow. That's actually a tough question, man.
This is a lightning round.
Get 2 seconds. My biggest, I guess, like monetary, like, was hitting that, 6-figure mark in a wholesaling business. I think it was kind of like release that glass ceiling.
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest. And I honestly, like emotionally, I don't feel that much of a success behind it. I really just don't.
You didn't break down and cry?
Did not. But I think in terms of success, yeah, other than that, my best life success overall was, getting clean and sober.
What's been your most influential book?
Ooh. I would say, ooh. Wow, that's a great question.
That's a thinker.
We're gonna have to have our VA
yeah.
compress this down.
Don't say Rich Dad
Edit
Poor Dad
the
like
lightning
everybody.
round. I would say probably the 4 agreements.
I never heard that book.
The 4 grievances?
Four agreements.
Yeah,
4 agreements.
Yeah. Or I like Atomic Habits a lot.
Yeah,
I've heard of that one.
That's a powerful book. I never read it, but I've gone through all the clip notes.
Yeah, it's super powerful, bro. Like definitely like scientific type base, but God, it's like all books are so good. I feel like in like the personal development space, that's hard, man.
All of my books I've read in the past, since I got into real estate, have all been personal development.
Yeah.
I'd like to just read one for fun,
Yeah.
get back to that.
What do you read for fun after like you're like in that? Yeah.
But it's something about when you're in this growth mode, man. You just want to absorb all the information you can to get better.
Absolutely. I also Magic of Thinking Big is awesome. There's so many. Jesus Christ. I don't even have a favorite, man. That's my answer.
How about on the opposite end of the successes? What's been your biggest struggle, man?
My biggest struggle, a lot. So what time frame are we talking? Life?
Oh, well, I mean, in your business today, like, I don't know, what's been a hard thing to overcome? What's you think holding you back, or something you got to do to scale up?
I really think is just like what has been is like my limited belief around leadership in my company.
Yeah, you touched on that a little bit earlier.
Yeah, that's been the biggest struggle. really like
That's a mindset thing, right?
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's like and also it's a mindset and a skill set thing for sure.
Yeah.
Working on the skills to build out leadership, communicating effectively, helping cast the vision and also operate within that vision consistently, that it can be conveyed and transferred to people in your company.
So you're talking about modeling the behavior that you're asking people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's like sometimes it's like I can be in just full like hustle mode and I'm like, what are we doing here? It's like, well, you're not necessarily like showing them and showing and versus telling and really supporting them on a level that's conducive for their growth.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's tough. I'm getting a lot better on it. And I think the limited belief was like, how do you get somebody in your company that like can close deals? You know what I mean? Like that, all those thoughts were, and I'm just like, people do it. So
well, I think, I'm
not there right yet where I'm like, hey, I want an acquisitions manager, but
if you're not casting that vision to them every day, I mean, you might find a rock star, but you're gonna burn them out. They're gonna look elsewhere. If they're shitty leadership. So, I'm with you, man. I think that's huge. It's something I'm trying to get better at, and I've seen it in other organizations. The leadership can make everything in the business. So,
absolutely, it goes back to it's like John Maxwell's level of leadership and different things. It's like, it's hard to be. You get a level 10 salesman and you're, a level 7 leader. Doesn't really, work out. He's like, I'm out of here, bro. Because he's operating at a different level. So
better pay him well.
Yeah, really just showing up consistently for the vision consistently for the business with, operating every day within, that's aligned with that vision.
Yep.
It's probably been this. I'm getting better at it, but it's definitely been the biggest challenge in business.
Sure. It sounds like you're doing all this prospecting. What's one system that you would recommend to somebody that's really been good for you?
Wow. There's, dialers, all that. That's like
you tried them all,
that's great. I've tried them all. We currently use call tools.
Okay.
For cold calling, we used batch leads for SMS. But I really think the best system I'd recommend to anybody of any level is probably REI Sift.
REI Sift?
REI Sift. Yeah, a lot of people haven't. It's I want to call it a data management software, but it's like much more than that. Just really, you might be interested in something like this because really it houses all the data with different statuses at any point. Also tags phone numbers. You build out all your campaigns.
Okay.
You can, you're tagging things and they're building out different tasks in there now, but really just gives you a huge level of data insight at any time.
Are you using that as like a CRM? Or
you can use, some people do. I use Podio as a CRM, but you could, there's some people on a tight budget starting off and they just use their CRM and set tags there. You can't right now communicate out of it. You'd have to have some type of dialing platform, whatever, for correspondence with the prospect. But you can look, you can go through a campaign, and after everything is dispoed and updated in that data, whether you can integrate it with different, platforms so that you can update this data. You could see at the end of a list, like, hey, we called through this list 3 different times. These are the people who didn't pick up. This guy has all wrong numbers on his record. So how do we get in touch with this guy? And what if he's tax delinquent, code violation, and the property's vacant?
Yeah. Mail them, go drive the house,
exactly.
knock on the door. Yeah.
But it's like, I'd probably go door knock a guy that if I had his mailing address. Right. What happens if both mailing address and property address are both vacant?
You got to find the unfindables.
So it really is, but at least you get insight on like, okay, these people aren't, pretty much on paper are not able to be found. Yeah. But look at the underlying potential motivation there, or vexation or situation that they're going through. So it's just a whole new level of prioritizing prospecting. you can stack all your data and say, hey, all we're doing is going for tax delinquents and vacants. It has a vacant filter on there. Maybe we want things that are just tax delinquent and code violation.
Yes, I'm going to check that out, man. We use Property List Manager. I don't know if it's the same thing as that.
I've heard of that.
It's
I haven't looked at it.
It's like a list stacker, but that sounds like it's a little more advanced. So
yeah, and and that's really the only reason why I'm using Call Tools, because they have integration now. So my cold caller can, after each disposition, they can just say it's a wrong number in Call Tools, but also a wrong number in RES.
Ooh, that's nice. Yeah.
One click.
Ooh.
So it's like, if anything, if you call through a bunch of prospects, you have a decent amount of insight if there's a decent amount of connections.
You won me at integration. I learned.
Hey, bro, they're working. They're building out a whole bunch of stuff. So Tyler, the founder of it, is an awesome guy. Yeah. Provides great value in his Facebook group, and they do masterminds and weekly calls. And it's just, if you're a data nerd, Brian, I'm telling you, you'll love it, bro.
I never thought
you'll love it, bro.
Half my life ago, I'd be a data nerd. But I am in this business. So.
Honestly, it's like we look at it. It's like, when I got into this business, I'm like, thinking like, okay, yeah, this is sales, whatever. And now it's like, it's like an IT company.
Yeah.
In some way, it's sales and marketing.
Sales marketing company. Yeah.
Sales marketing company, but it's like, how things are, especially if you're virtual and everything. It's like, systems, process, all that stuff. Plivo numbers and this platform and this integration. It's like it's like a information technology instance.
Somebody put a quote out not long ago that kind of went viral. I think it said, when I stopped thinking of myself as a real estate investor and started thinking myself as a real estate marketer, everything blew up.
So we are a marketing company. Yeah, that's what I think. First person I heard something like that was David. He said, we're just in the marketing business. The products or service just involve real estate.
Yeah. Love it, man. I got one more for you. Since you are a superhuman wholesaler, what is your superhuman trait? Your superhero ability?
My ability is just to connect with people. I think. Really to just I'm a huge proponent. I try to live very transparently, with in an authentic way with whatever I'm doing, so if I can't operate in that space, then I won't be in this space. So I think it's just a natural thing. I've been blessed to have so many life experiences, good and bad, and exposure to both sides of the tracks, I guess you could say, that's allowed me to, have empathy for pretty much anyone that I come across. And usually I'm able to connect with pretty much anyone.
Yeah. Nice. Love it, man. Well, Bryson, I'm glad we finally got to do this, Absolutely. Man. I've been watching you from afar for a while, man. And I think you're
like it.
Yeah, man, you're doing big things, man. So keep it up. We'll,
Absolutely.
Do some deals together, and
I hope so, man.
Maybe play some golf sometime.
Give me golf is the word around town, especially in St. Charles.
Check it out.
I like that. You got to get some good partner courses on there.
Yeah.
So which membership do you do?
The full thing where you get the clubhouse and the courses.
Amen.
I just signed up.
You did. So Max member.
Yeah, man.
If you need a golf cart driver, I'll handle that for you.
You get Rolling Hills for free, I think. Eagle Springs.
The Baldwin one that's right by my house.
Yeah, Baldwin looks kind of nice.
Yeah, I've never played it. It's right down the road from me.
Yeah, I saw my buddy playing on his Instagram, and it looked pretty nice actually. So
now I have a great excuse to get out and play every week.
Bro, that's the numbers make sense on it.
Yeah,
with the partner course, I don't know how much I can come out and hit golf balls in St. Charles, but I'll make it to those courses and play some, so I might actually get into it.
Yeah, well, so for all future podcast guests, you get to come to Gimme Golf Club with me and check it out.
It's a good deal.
All right, man, we'll wrap it up. Bryson, thanks again for doing this, buddy.
Thank you,
buddy.
guys.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Awesome.